There are some holiday films that arrive like snowfall, soft, familiar, and expected. And there are those that feel like an odd, colorful ornament from another shelf of childhood, slightly off-kilter, strange, and unforgettable. Babes in Toyland, 1986, is one of those odd, colorful ornaments, a TV musical that mixes stars who would go on to very different careers, a bizarre villain, a new score grafted onto an old operetta, and a version so different from its predecessors that it still sparks conversation today. In this video, we dive deep 20 hidden facts to rediscover this unusual Christmas musical. Fact 1. A TV movie reborn from a 1903 operetta. Most viewers don't realize this version is rooted in a 1903 Victor Herbert operetta of the same name. The 1986 film takes that old theatrical skeleton, the villains, Barnaby's schemes, the Toymaster, and dresses it in a new, modern TV musical coat. That means the story's DNA is classic, but the film's tone and songs are modern additions, created to fit 1980s family TV sensibilities. Fact 2. Drew Barrymore, an 11-year-old lead who anchored the film. The movie's heart is little Lisa Piper, played by Drew Barrymore, who was about 11 when the film was made. Her presence gives the movie genuine childlike wonder, and looking back, this role is early evidence of the raw charisma that would later make her a household name. The Hollywood Reporter later highlighted how this TV special is a snapshot from early in Drew's career. Fact 3. Keanu Reeves in Toyland. Before Bill and Ted and action stardom, Keanu Reeves appears here as Jack Be Nimble. His role is youthful and earnest, and seeing him in this family musical is a reminder of the strange detours many big stars take early in their careers. Reeves' small screen turn is an odd footnote that fans love to unearth. Fact 4. Pat Morita plays the Toymaster, an unexpected Santa-like figure. Pat Morita, best known for The Karate Kid, brings a calm, gentle authority to the Toymaster. In this telling, the Toymaster functions like a mentor and guardian for Toyland, a kind of Santa figure, and Morita's warmth anchors several scenes that could have otherwise felt too whimsical or off balance. Fact 5. A new score. Leslie Bricusse rewrites the musical DNA. This 1986 version does something bold. It adds a new score by Leslie Bricusse, while keeping only a few pieces of Victor Herbert's original music. That means the film's musical identity is almost entirely new, a modern pastiche of old and new that gives the movie its unique sonic fingerprint. If the music sounds familiar yet different, there's your reason. Fact 6. 2 runtimes TV broadcasts versus home release. Here's a technical but intriguing fact. The original TV broadcast ran approximately 145 minutes, but for overseas theatrical and home video release, a much shorter 94-minute cut was edited and circulated. The longer cut includes musical numbers and transitional scenes that many viewers have never seen. For fans hunting the full experience, this split between versions is a key part of the movie's history. Fact 7. Shot in Munich, not in an American workshop. Although the story is set in Cincinnati and Toyland, principal photography took place in Munich, West Germany during the summer of 1986. The European locations and production facilities gave the film a slightly different visual texture than an American studio musical might have, part fairy tale, part stagey German backlit. That European setting contributed to the film's peculiar look, quaint, theatrical, and sometimes unintentionally eerie. Fact 8. Clive Donner, a director with a stage background. The TV special was directed by Clive Donner, a British filmmaker whose career included a mixture of light comedy and period pieces. Donner's experience with theatrical rhythm shows in the film's staging. Many scenes play like set pieces in a pantomime rather than naturalistic film scenes. That theatricality is either charming or awkward depending on what kind of holiday viewer you are. Fact 9. A monster with one eye. Trolog's strange design. One of the film's most memorable visual inventions is Trolog, a vulture-like monster with a single enchanted eye that Barnaby uses to spy on others. Trolog's design is odd and striking, part puppet, part costume, and it sits at the edge between creepy and whimsical. For a children's special, Trolog's look still jolts modern viewers and becomes one of the movie's most discussed images online. You can find full scenes of Trolog in clips and public uploads. Fact 10. Richard Mulligan's Barnaby Comedy and Villainy. Richard Mulligan, known for his work in TV comedies, plays the villain Barnaby with a mix of comic timing and sleaziness. Mulligan's approach makes Barnaby less of a pure fairy tale monster and more of a small-time, theatrical baddie, the kind of TV villain who belongs to the 1980s network movie style. His performance keeps the tone oddly playful even when the stakes feel fantastical. Fact 11. Jill Scullin and Guji Gress, the supporting young cast. Jill Scullin, Mary, and Guji Gress, Georgie Porgy, round out the youthful ensemble. Scullin had already been active in genre films, and Guji Gress, a child actor and entertainer, gives the movie a vaudevillian, slightly old-fashioned energy. The combination of trained stage actors and television personalities contributes to the film's patchwork tone. Fact 12. A runtime mystery, the director's cut circulates on tape. Because the full 145-minute broadcast was edited for most home releases, the longer TV edit became rarer. However, for years bootleg VHS recordings and later uploads have circulated a so-called director's cut online, giving fans a chance to see deleted musical numbers and extended sequences. That makes collecting this film a small treasure hunt for completists. Fact 13. A 1980s TV aesthetic, practical effects and puppetry. This special leans heavily on practical effects, puppetry, and physical costumes rather than CGI, which was rare for TV then. The result, Toyland, feels tactile strings, suits, painted sets, and that sense of craft is part of its charm. But that tactile nature also shows its age. What's quaint to some viewers can feel low budget or uncanny to others. Fact 14. A Nielsen night, NBC's holiday programming. The film debuted on NBC on December 19, 1986 as part of the network's holiday programming. Network TV of the 1980s liked to build spectacles around the season, and this special was positioned as family programming that could stand next to variety shows and holiday specials. Its TV first release shaped how audiences experienced it: communal, appointment viewing rather than casual streaming. Fact 15. A new take on Mary and Jack's romance. While previous versions of Babes in Toyland leaned into pantomime tropes and broad comedy, this adaptation gives Mary and Jack a more earnest romantic subplot, played straight and sung with sincerity. That tonal choice helps the movie keep an emotional center, especially in musical numbers that stress belief, childhood, and loyalty. The result feels more like a family musical than a slapstick pantomime. Fact 16. Linda Harmon, the unseen singing voice. Drew Barrymore speaks and acts Lisa's part, but several sources note that Linda Harmon provided Drew's singing voice for some musical numbers. This lip-syncing double casting for singing was common in musicals where the acting performer needed vocal support. The effect is subtle but worth noting if you're analyzing who actually sings on the soundtrack. Fact 17. It was released on VHS but not widely on DVD. After its TV premiere, the movie had a limited VHS release, early 1990s, but it never saw a major worldwide DVD release for a long time. For a while, the only way to watch certain cuts was through taped copies or streaming uploads, which contributed to a cult curiosity around the film. Today it is easier to find legally through some streaming platforms, but collectors still search for specific versions. Fact 18. Mixed reception, critics versus cult fans. At release, the special had mixed reactions. Some critics and viewers found its theatricality and tone uneven, while others embraced its whimsy and oddball charm. Over time, Babes in Toyland became one of those holiday curiosities people rewatch for nostalgia, for star spotting, or just to see which parts of 1980s TV culture aged well and which didn't. The mixed reception is part of its afterlife. It is too odd to be just a classic and too nostalgic to be ignored. Fact 19. The story keeps the rotting core of Barnaby's greed. While the film softens some of the operetta's harsher elements, it keeps the heart of Barnaby's plot: greed, manipulation, and the desire to control Toyland. The villain's plan to manipulate Mary and unseat Jack echoes the dark undertones of earlier stage versions, reminding us that many children's tales were originally cautionary and sometimes grim. The screenplay, credited to Paul Zindel, reworks older plot points but keeps that moral core. Fact 20. Why It Still Matters, a film about belief and childhood. Finally, the movie's primary message is simple and persistent belief in toys, in wonder, and the goodness of others is powerful. The Toymaster, the animated toy soldiers, and the final reveal that Lisa's Toyland visit may have been real, are all cinematic pushes to keep belief alive, especially in a world that rushes children to grow up too fast. That theme, wrapped in the film's odd aesthetics and memorable imagery, is why people still talk about Babes in Toyland decades later. There's a tender quality in films like this, a special kind of bravery. The filmmakers tried to reshape a 1903 stage operetta into a 1980s TV musical, gathering a cast of familiar faces and new voices to tell a story about toys, greed, love, and belief. It didn't become a mainstream classic, but it landed where many holiday oddities do, in the corners of memory in VHS tapes, in late-night reruns, and in the hearts of viewers who remember a different Christmas feeling from childhood. If you watch it now, look for the details, the bits of Victor Herbert surviving under Bricust's new music, the prosthetic and puppet work of Trolloc, the unexpected calm of Pat Morita's Toymaster, and the glimpses of youthful Drew Barrymore and Keanu Reeves before the world knew them as they would be later.